This person discovered how to instantly command respect with one simple technique. In a world where first impressions determine everything, most people unknowingly sabotage themselves within seconds of meeting someone new. They talk too fast, fidget nervously, and desperately try to fill every moment of silence. But what if I told you that the most powerful people in the world do exactly the opposite? The secret weapon isn't what you say, it's what you don't say. It's the power of the strategic pause. Think about the most commanding figures you've ever encountered. Whether it's a CEO, a respected leader, or even a fictional character who exudes authority, they all share this one trait. They don't rush their words. They don't scramble to fill silence. Instead, they use silence as a tool. Research from Harvard Business School found that people who take their time to respond are perceived as more intelligent, more confident, and more worthy of respect. This isn't just opinion, it's hardwired into our psychology. When someone pauses before speaking, our brains automatically assign more value to whatever follows. I discovered this accidentally during a high-stakes business meeting. For years, I'd been the person talking too quickly, trying to impress everyone with my rapid-fire thoughts. But one day, feeling unusually calm, I took a deliberate 2-second pause before answering a question. The room shifted, people leaned in. My words suddenly carried weight they never had before. This technique works because it triggers what psychologists call the scarcity principle. When something is less available, in this case your words, people value it more. Fast talkers signal desperation and insecurity. Slow, measured speakers signal confidence and power. Next time someone asks you a question, try this. Take a deep breath. Count to 2 in your head. Maintain eye contact. Then deliver your response at a slightly slower pace than feels natural. You'll immediately notice the difference in how people receive your message. But this goes beyond just pausing. Your entire presence communicates your value. Most people walk into a room looking for approval. Their shoulders slightly hunched, eyes darting around, seeking validation. Their body language screams, "Please accept me." Powerful people enter a room as if they already own it. Their posture is relaxed but upright. Their movements are deliberate, not frantic. I coached a client, a brilliant technician who kept getting passed over for promotion. His ideas were exceptional, but in meetings, he'd nervously rush through presentations, speaking faster when challenged. We worked on implementing strategic pauses. Within 3 months, he was promoted to leadership. His ideas hadn't changed, only the way he delivered them. The psychology behind this is fascinating. When you rush your words, you trigger what scientists call the conformity bias in others. Your nervous energy signals that you're lower in the social hierarchy, and human brains are wired to pick up on these subtle cues instantly. By controlling your pace and embracing silence, you short-circuit this automatic judgment. Let me share a simple exercise that transformed my own presence. For 1 week, practice what I call the 3-second rule. Before responding to any question, silently count to 3. It will feel uncomfortable at first, even unbearable. That discomfort is your ego panicking, afraid of losing approval. Push through it. By day 7, you'll notice people responding to you differently. Famous speakers use this technique masterfully. Watch how Barack Obama deliberately pauses between powerful statements. Notice how Angela Merkel would wait a beat before answering difficult questions from the press. These aren't accidents. They're calculated tools to command respect. But here's where most people fail. They can't tolerate the awkwardness of silence. They feel compelled to fill every gap in conversation. Remember that silence isn't empty. It's pregnant with possibility. It creates tension, and tension creates attention. I witnessed this transform a shy colleague during salary negotiations. Instead of immediately accepting or countering the offer, she simply paused, maintained eye contact, and said nothing for 5 full seconds. The hiring manager immediately increased the offer by 15%. Her silence communicated more value than any words could have. This technique works in personal relationships too. When someone criticizes you, don't jump to defend yourself. Pause. Let the silence grow, then respond calmly. Watch how quickly the dynamic shifts in your favor. People respect those who control their reactions. There's a neurological reason for this effect. When you pause, you activate the listener's mirror neurons. They unconsciously begin to mirror your calm state. Your controlled pace forces them to slow down their own thinking. You're literally changing their brain chemistry with your patience. But don't confuse this with being slow or unresponsive. Strategic pauses should be brief, 2 to 4 seconds maximum. Beyond that, you risk appearing disconnected rather than powerful. The key is intention. Each pause should feel purposeful, not awkward. This technique requires practice. Start in low-stakes situations, with friends, family, or colleagues you're comfortable with. Pay attention to their subtle reactions, how they lean in when you pause, how their eyes focus more intently on you when you slow your speech. These micro-reactions are confirmation that the technique is working. Here's a powerful real-world application. During your next disagreement, when emotions start rising, deliberately slow your speaking pace by 20%. While the other person likely speeds up, your controlled pace will make you appear more reasonable, more thoughtful, and ultimately more persuasive. The most successful negotiators understand this principle intimately. They know that the first person to break silence often loses. In tense negotiations, they deliberately extend pauses to create pressure that forces concessions from the other side. I've taught this technique to thousands of professionals, from new graduates to C-suite executives. The results are always the same: immediate improvement in how they're perceived. One banking executive told me it was like discovering a superpower that had been available to me all along. This doesn't just apply to verbal communication. In written exchanges, most people respond instantly to emails and messages, signaling that their time isn't valuable. Respected figures take time to respond. They don't appear at someone's beck and call. Their response time communicates their status. The beauty of this technique is that it requires no special talent or knowledge. Anyone can implement it immediately. It costs nothing, yet the return on investment is enormous: increased respect, more influence, and ultimately more power in every interaction. I challenge you to try this today. In your very next conversation, implement the strategic pause. Then notice, really notice, how differently people respond to you. Pay attention to their body language, how they listen more attentively, how they value your words more highly. This single change creates a ripple effect through all your interactions. As people begin treating you with more respect, you naturally carry yourself with more confidence. This creates a positive feedback loop that elevates your status in every room you enter. Remember, true power isn't loud or aggressive. It's controlled, measured, and patient. The most powerful person in any room is rarely the one talking the most. It's the one who speaks with purpose and whose silence commands attention. Try this once, and you'll never communicate the same way again. Your presence will become unforgettable, your words will carry weight, and people will treat you with the respect you deserve, all from mastering the simple art of the pause.